State at center, a 6'9" junior from Chicago, number 33, Sam Hill. For Michigan at center, a 6'11" senior from Detroit, number 42, Roy Tarpley. For Iowa State at guard, a 6'3" sophomore from Jackson, Mississippi, number 3, Gary Tompkins. For Michigan at guard, a 6'5" junior from Detroit, number 11, Antoine Joubert. For Iowa State at guard, a 6'3" senior from LaGrange, Illinois, number 14, Jeff Honachek. For Michigan at guard, a 6'3" sophomore from Canton, Ohio, number 23, Gary Grant. Now introducing the head coaches from Iowa State in his second season, in his 21st season, Johnny Orr. And for Michigan in his 6th season, Bill Frieder.
Bill Frieder this year for the Wolverines. He'll be jumping center against Sam Hill, 6'9" junior from Chicago. Set to go, Michigan in white and Iowa State in the red. The officials are Rich Icor, Sonny Holmes, Larry Lembo are underway here in Minneapolis. And it's controlled by the Wolverines. Joubert in the backcourt with Grant. Good combination back there, Bill.
Excellent combination. The last time that Michigan was up here, Minneapolis didn't treat him so well. Minnesota put a hurting on him.
Richard Relford. They get it inside to Tarpley.
Backwards. Paved the way.
One of the best big men in the country, Roy Tarpley, 6'11". His quickness defies his size in many respects. 2-0 Michigan.
Plays like he's about 6'6". There's that tough man-to-man defense that Michigan is really employing of late with Gary Grant setting the pace.
Hornacek, number 14, he'll be handling the ball a lot. Ron Virgil, who's a forward and moves outside. Not a lot of size, as we said. Hill, the biggest, at 6'9", number 33.
Odd looking matchup. Tarpley caught on Virgil out here. Difference of
Tompkins,
7 inches.
This is Hornacek on the other side as the ball taken away by Gary Grant, a fine defender. Michigan on the run again, and here's Richard Relford. Oh! Tarpley in the crowd. Looks like they recruited this team. Oh, good hand. Foul is good. Basket is good and a foul. And Roy Tarpley. And already it looks like the JVs are playing the varsity when you look on the court.
Well, as far as the athletes out there on the court, Michigan really has them. They've got the size, they've got the power. Iowa State's extremely thin ball club with the exception of Grayer. Tarpley's hands excellent on the inside, getting a hold of that loose ball for a big man. Reached right down there and picked it off.
Foul is on Hill. A good free throw shooter is Tarpley. And it is now Michigan 5, Iowa State nothing. Iowa State was runner-up to Kansas in the Big 8. Last year they lost to Ohio State in the first round. They won their first game, and a foul is called against Grant.
Gary Grant has the quick hands. Hornacek, of course, outstanding.
Hill, loose ball. Grant has it for Michigan. Michigan has just about all the loose balls in the first minute and a half of this game. And Antoine Joubert, who came in with a lot of hype. Another Magic Johnson, they said. He has settled down a bit and has played pretty good guard for the Wolverines. Joubert, number 11, third in scoring, second in assists. Grant, very intelligent player.
Gary Grant has great hand quickness, hand-eye coordination. That's why he steals the ball so well, plays defense head-to-head so well.
Grant looking inside, 15 on the shot clock. Ball steal away, and a steal by Iowa State's Virgil inside to Tompkins with the stuff. Gary Tompkins, the point guard, and Iowa State is on the board. It's 5-2, and they press.
Joubert tried to get too cute on that drive, had an easy shot, tried to take it inside. Good job by Virgil and showed some strength, although he's just a wiry guy. Showed some strength to knock it out of Joubert's hands. Joubert's must have 50 pounds on it.
Yeah, good screen there for the 10-foot jumper. Pass it up. Grant in the traffic finds Tarpley with an easy pass. Good pick and roll there by Michigan. 7 points for Tarpley. All of Michigan's points by their 6'11 center.
Grayer trying to set up inside. Post up on Relford. Got speed on
Hornacek going in. Feeding inside to Sam Hill. Knocked away by Michigan, and Grant has it. Every time Iowa State's gotten inside, someone has gotten a piece of the ball. Grant comes down with it and is fouled.
Virgil on a reach from Tompkins. Going to be on Tompkins on reaching in. Good penetration on Grant. You have to play heads up. He's so quick. Here we see Roy Tarpley does a good job holding the ground and not pushing off, gets the good beat by Grant, lays it in.
Sam Hill got the foul, and it's a second on the center for Iowa State, and here is Grant on the line for Michigan. He's from Canton, Ohio. He's one of the rare jewels who combines scoring ability with outstanding defense. Second leading scorer for Bill Frieder, and led them in playmaking.
One of the top freshmen in the country last year, certainly to be of All-American caliber before he gets out of Michigan.
1 out of 2. Here's Hornacek bringing it across. 8-2 the score. Michigan leading. 3 minutes going by. Opening hit. Dick Stockton and Billy Packer here in Minneapolis, upwards of 20,000. And a foul away from the ball against Michigan.
Wade.
But Wade is first.
Got to let a man cut through. Butch Wade put his shoulder right into Hornacek. Knocked him out of the way. Good call.
So Hornacek will inbound. Iowa State administered one of the 3 defeats to Kansas this year. First time in history that 5 teams from the Big 8 made the NCAA tournament. Hornacek has a shot blocked by Grant. Loose ball.
Look at Grant's quickness.
Grant comes up with it, knocked away.
Another one.
He is not to be denied, and the foul is on Tompkins of Iowa State, and it looks like Michigan is too big, too quick, too fast, and too talented in the opening minute.
I would have to agree, Dick. Is Grant incredible with that hand quickness? You would never want to play slap hands with this fella. Goes up, good block. Here he reaches in, makes a steal. Ball on the ground. He actually dribbles his way through this one, then gets it stolen, picks it right back up again.
He was drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers for a baseball career, this Grant. 8-2 the score, 16:35 remaining in the first half. Michigan leading by 6. Grant looking inside to Tarpley. Don't forget that Sam Hill, the center, already has 2 fouls. Tarpley, nice. Off the rim, Joe Bear comes down with it. And they're going to call a foul against Tarpley, Roy Tarpley of Michigan.
Pushing off on Hill. Now, both of these fellas been going after each other pretty well. Tarpley trying to get ground. Foul's called on Tarpley. He was looking for position. Might have been best to have that a no call. I'm talking to the 2 players on the way back down the court. So let's keep it clean inside.
18-2. Hornacek and Tompkins in the backcourt. Virgil is not very big at 6'4" forward, comes out. There's a long shot by Sam Hill showing his range. 3rd leading scorer on Iowa State. Joe Bear in the forecourt. Hornacek defending. Virgil trapping. Cyclones are a scrappy team.
Great man-to-man. They've got a real edge on quickness, and that's what they're going to have to take advantage of. Switch that time on the play.
This is the 11th time Iowa State's been in the NCAA tournament. They like that up-tempo style, but so does Michigan. Out to Grant. Nearly knocked away, and it is indeed.
That's an odd pass for Grant to throw that cross court.
Tompkins going in strong with the layup for Iowa State.
And there's that quickness beating Michigan down the court, Dick.
You know what's interesting, Billy, is that Jeff Grayer touched the ball for only the first time when he intercepted that pass. And he's their big man. Their leading scorer. Come back to Wade. Butch Wade from Boston. Second leading rebounder the last 2 years for Michigan, and it's 10-6 the Wolverines lead.
You know, you mentioned that win by Ohio State over Kansas. Iowa State over Kansas. They beat in that same week Oklahoma.
Grayer from the corner. Tarpley just gets Virgil out of the way as if he were a fly and gets the rebound.
Take Oklahoma and Kansas in the same 7-day stretch. You've played 2 outstanding ball games.
Team can play 21 in 10. They won 20 games, Iowa State. 2 years in a row. What a feed. Grant to Butch Wade, who gets all of his points inside and got 2 right there.
Johnny Orr may have a matchup problem for Virgil. You can't find anybody for him to guard out there. He just doesn't have enough weight to play against Wade and the Relfords.
Iowa State never really a basketball power until Johnny Orr got there. They made their presence felt. Here's Hill, hit earlier from outside. 3 white shirts underneath. Tarpley grabs the rebound.
Michigan, the superior team by far, Dick, in terms of physical presence on the court. If Bill Frieder holds up a card saying clear.
If they weren't impressive, and steal by Virgil.
Grant throws away his second pass.
Tompkins goes in and gets the layup. There's the quickness for Iowa State. They've got to rely on that.
Those are 2 bad passes by Gary Grant. Very unusual for him. The distance between the receiver and the passer being so far that the quickness of Iowa State could pick it off.
You know, Billy, Michigan not impressive in beating Akron 70-64. Tarpley gets lost side. Gets another chance to score. They're out rebounded 34-28 by the Akron Zips, Michigan was.
Hill trying to beat Tarpley down court. Good shot by Virgil.
Virgil from the corner. And Iowa State coming back, trailing now 14-10. We have 13:40 remaining in the first half. Relford from the corner.
Not the kind of shot Michigan wants from Relford. They like him to be a little closer.
Greer the rebound, and Virgil called for traveling. Collided with Grant.
Again, you see Grant so quick out there on the floor. Tough turnover. He's the dribbler. Cause for walking. Grant right in the right place at the right time.
Just about 13 and a half. There's Sam Hill, and a clarification on an earlier foul. And the Cyclones can breathe easy. Sam Hill was hit with a second foul. They've taken that away and given it to Gary Tompkins. So Hill now only has one foul. 6'9" junior from Chicago, the lone man inside, defending against Michigan's big, strong club.
And on one of the most controversial calls of the year in the Big 8 championship, Hill was the fellow that was called for walking as Iowa State had a chance to beat Kansas in the final.
And there is Selenar Tarpley, who lives in New York and flies to every game to watch her son play. She was a bit disappointed, naturally, in the Akron game when Tarpley was disappointed and did not start, but she looks like she's in fine fettle today. Grant screening himself, throws up his shot. Wade battling inside, and Hill the rebound. Into the hands of Greer. Hornacek 2-on-1. Jobert back nicely defensively. Open is Virgil. His jumper is good. 14-12 Michigan.
Good-looking shooter. Problem for Iowa State so far, they have not been able to get Greer in the offense at all. Dick, you pointed out that the only time he touched the ball is when he intercepted it. There's a 2-2-1 full court press. Michigan handles it nicely.
Greer, one of the nation's underrated players, and he's really underrated in this game as far as his own teammates are concerned. Michigan has shut him off effectively. 12:49 remaining in the first half. Big Ten champions, 28-4 on the year, the most wins they've ever had. Pretty good tradition. Antoine Jobert hits from the corner.
Jobert is really a forward guard. He goes down on that baseline. He's got the size and the bulk. I think the player that he was supposed to be coming out of high school is not who he really is.
There's Greer, second effort after Hill's miss.
Everybody talks about Magic Johnson. I think, you know, everybody wants to be the next Magic Johnson, and you keep hearing about every high school player's Magic Johnson, but there is only one of those.
Jobert, baseline, draws the foul.
That's where he's tough, when he takes a guard down inside.
He took Virgil there, who just about is a guard as far as size at 6'4".
Virgil's listed at 6'4". It looks to me like he's closer to 6'2", and probably weighs about 165 pounds. And no match for Jobert, who's a solid 6'5 and a half, 6'6". Although he's listed 220, he looks like he's more than that.
So the judge is on the line, shooting 2. They call Antoine Jobert. Third in scoring, second in assists. Some people say he's cocky. You've got to have some of that flair sometimes, but he certainly is poised as he was throughout his career.
75% free throw shooter. The guy that can go inside, penetrate.
Halftime in the West region. St. John's trailing Auburn 44-32. In a big game, it's been tough for the Big East with Villanova and Georgetown losing yesterday. And Syracuse losing today.
Right, everybody out other than St. John's.
Jobert defending against Tompkins. 11:53 to go in the first half. 5-point lead for the Wolverines. Hornacek, smart player, dumps it off in the corner. Virgil hits another from the corner.
Now, it's kind of interesting, just as you have a mismatch down on one end of the court, Virgil with his size problem. On the other end of the court, he has quickness, and Michigan hasn't matched up very well with him when he steps outside.
Half-court pressure, Michigan beats it. Grant, and it's tipped away by Hornacek into the hands of Wade. In the air, Virgil. He may be 6'4" and 165 pounds, but he's sneaking in there through the edges, isn't he?
Downtown
Hornacek. Jeff Hornacek. The walk-on. The gym rat, the honor student for Iowa State. And it's 17-16. And here's Hornacek back inside. And the foul is called against Antoine Jobert of Michigan, and Iowa State's quickness has paid off.
Well, there's Roy Tarpley putting the ball. That was a mental mistake. You don't want Tarpley dribbling the ball at half court, even though he is a gifted athlete. Give it up to somebody that can move it down court against the press.
Butch Wade has gone out of the ball game, and Robert Henderson, a 6'9 senior from Lansing, number 15, who started the Akron game with Tarpley on the bench. He's had to adjust to his role of coming off the bench after starting 17 games last year.
Dick, we talking about those upsets. Good pass on the inside to Hill.
Sam Hill, and Iowa State has taken the lead for the first time.
Right off the man-to-man out-of-bounds defense by Michigan. An excellent cut by Hill, and the crowd coming into the game.
6 in a row by the Cyclones from the Big 8. Under 11 minutes to go in the first half. Michigan had the fast start. Iowa State's come back, and Grant rims it. Hill the rebound. Out to Tompkins. Grayer filling the lane, and Virgil going inside against the big guys. And a foul is called. It'll be against Virgil.
No place to go in there. He's up against superior size. And again, I think Iowa State's got to figure out some way to get Grayer into their offense. Outstanding player, scoring almost 21 a game, hasn't really touched it.
He had 25 against Kansas in the Big 8 Tournament Championship, 19 in the victory over Miami of Ohio in round 1. Grayer, the 6'5", underrated player from Flint, and they're going to need him if they have any chance to win.
Well, what happens sometimes, a fellow that's expected to be such a big part of your offense, if he doesn't touch it, then he starts taking bad shots when he does get a chance. He's got to be very patient not to.
Hornacek is out on Relford. Relford does a lot of the dirty work on that team. Rebounds, setting other people up, freeing others to score.
Boy, Hill is a good defensive player. He's working against Tarpley, fighting for position. Tarpley's a lot stronger, but Hill really uses his feet well inside in the post defense.
10 minutes to go in the first half. Iowa State by 1. Jobert pulls up against Virgil. And Virgil gets the rebound. Michigan is not getting any second shots, Billy.
Well, I think the reason for that is that they're taking some bad shots. They haven't gone inside to Tarpley, and let's give Hill the credit. He's keeping the ball away from him.
They're blocking out, too, something you don't always see. Iowa State blocking out effectively on the defensive board.
Here's a play for Grayer to get him in the offense.
Relford comes up to meet him to thwart that with 9.5 to play.
Grayer playing outside now.
18-17 Iowa State, first lead of the game. Been this way for over a minute now. Grayer trying to get a screen. Grayer rims the hoop, and Tarpley gets it out to Grant. 5 rebounds now for Roy Tarpley, getting the ball back on a runner. Hornacek knocks it out to the corner.
Oh, not a place
into
to
the
throw
hands
it.
of Henderson. And a foul against Iowa State.
See if Hornacek is already ran right off the platform.
That's the problem with the raised court.
Right. And he knew better than to throw that ball back in under the Michigan's basket, and I think that's what he was upset about as he went off the court. You'll see he's going to throw it behind his back, but if you're going to throw it, the best thing to do is to fire it down towards your basket, not the opponent.
Substitutions in the game. Iowa State and Michigan both bringing in new people. Gar Thompson, a junior from Grand Rapids at 6'1", has been a key off the bench. Number 30 is in the ball game. David Moss, a 6'9" senior from Franklin Park, Illinois, and a big factor for Iowa State in upset victories over Kansas and Oklahoma, has come in, and Hill has picked up his second personal foul. Henderson with one more. 9:07 on the clock. Iowa State's going to the bench again. Here's Elmer Robinson, who was drafted by the New York Yankees as a pitcher, freshman from LaGrange, Illinois, with fine athletic skills.
Shoulders like that, he ought to be able to throw it 100 miles an hour.
He replaces Virgil, who's played awfully well. Virgil has 6 points. He and Tompkins lead Iowa State.
Robinson explosive coming off the bench.
Tarpley has 9 to lead Michigan. Bill Frieder's Wolverines lead by 1.
Johnny Orr is thinking, look, he's doing the job defensively. I'm going to have to play 40-minute game here. I've got to give him a little bit of a blow, and I'm in the ball game right now.
19-18 Michigan, and Grayer has not scored yet for Iowa State.
Tried to go for the lob. Rice in there guarding him now, so he's up against the freshman.
David Moss, 45, and a long-range shot by Hornacek is off the mark. And the rebound taken down by Glenn Rice, the freshman from Flint, Michigan. There's Gar Thompson from the corner, missing. Henderson fights, and the foul is going to be called against Henderson of Michigan.
Good job by Robertson on the block out. Johnny Orr, an outstanding coach, and this team is fundamentally sound.
Interesting about Glenn Rice, who's come in the ball game for Michigan, and that is that he nearly joined Jeff Grayer. He went to high school with at Iowa State, came very close to going to Ames.
Well, one of the most highly recruited players in the country last year.
And they're watching each other right now, Rice and Grayer, high school teammates. Rice doing a pretty good job on Grayer. 8:23 to go in the first half. 1-point lead for Michigan, 19-18.
fellow by the name of Barry Stevens went to that high school too. Of course, that everybody knows, Iowa State's leading scorer last year and NBA draft choice for Denver.
Moss hits from outside. David Moss. He's come off the bench. He's only averaged 3 points, but he's had quality minutes this year for Iowa State. They've regained the lead.
I mean, you know he's got to be a player, right? You know what he does in his spare time? He's a color commentator, broadcaster.
Oh, must have a good outside shot like all of them.
That's right.
7:49 remaining in the first half. Thompson coming off the screen. Rice is looking inside to Henderson, but doing a fine job is Elmer Robinson. Elmer Robinson picking up with Sam Hill left off. So is Moss defensively.
See how they step out at
Steal. And a foul on Jobert, and that'll be his second personal foul.
Excellent defensive technique on the step out. Every time there's a screen set, defensive man steps out, and Jobert got caught. Right here, you'll see Robinson step out, picks up Jobert, goes for the steal. Good play. And what Iowa State's doing there, they're stepping out and going back. It's not a switch, so which is very tough technique to develop. Players are doing an excellent job for Iowa State.
Ron Virgil comes back in the game, and Jeff Hornacek goes out. Johnny Orr doing a good job of making sure none of his stars get tired in this first half.
Well, when you go up against a physical team, you can't afford to get yourself down to the point you wear out, because then they just overpower you. So trying to keep teams fresh.
He's rested Hill. He's rested Hornacek. Rayer may get a rest soon. Elmer Robinson. And the foul against Michigan. Well-executed play, and that may be Tarpley. It is his second personal foul. 2 on the big Michigan center. Jobert goes out of the game, replaced by Gary Grant.
Well, Gary Grant's coming back in. We're going to see the offensive move right here. Robinson coming across the lane. Moss sets a good screen on Henderson. What happens to Michigan when Grant's out of the game, Dick, is that they don't have defensive intensity. He's the one fella on the team that can push it out, push the defense out, and really guard somebody. When he's out of the ball game, you can see that defense gets kind of soft.
These are the first free throws attempted by Iowa State, and it comes with 7 minutes and 11 seconds to go in the first half. Elmer Robinson misses the first. And Iowa State with a 2-point lead now, 21-19. Michigan has gone 5.5 minutes without a basket here in this first half.
They haven't gotten the ball to Tarpley in a long time.
Guard Thompson and Grant the backcourt.
Got Moss guarding him, playing behind him. Tarpley wants. Good job by Virgil, dropping back to help out.
Tarpley with Moss in his face. Moss with a tremendous job. Henderson follow up. But I'll tell you, Moss really defended Tarpley well on the baseline. High score, 21 all, our first tie of the afternoon. 6:39 on the clock. Grayer in the lane draws the foul smartly. I think Iowa State might have been bewildered by Michigan's start, and they got a second win, and I think they feel now that they can play with this club.
Well, they played with Kansas. Kansas is the type of team, talented ball club like Michigan with good size on the inside. So if they can play with Kansas, they can play with Michigan.
Grayer is on the line. He's also named to the All-Big 8 defensive team.
Second year in a row for him to make all defensive team. When you start talking about a high score on your ball club, it also makes all conference defensively. You're talking about a great all-around player.
Unselfish player, can score and rebound. Gets the free throw to give Iowa State the 2-point lead, even though Grayer is not connected from the field as of yet, with 6.5 minutes to play in the first half.
Iowa State picks up. They stay in that man-to-man defense. Play a little 2-2-1 full court pressure and then drop back to man-to-man.
They go inside to Tarpley, triple team, foul, and that basket would have counted had it gone. Elmer Robinson is hit with the foul for Iowa State. Michigan's already in the bonus, and Iowa State also in the bonus now.
You know, Tarpley with Moss. Moss not the same type of defensive player as is Hill, and you can see he gets caught in a position where Tarpley can handle it down inside and low.
So here's Roy Tarpley, who was not highly recruited out of high school. 9 points and 5 rebounds for Roy. 23-21 Iowa State. Michigan moved out to a 6-point lead.
You see, they play with no center, so the middle is wide open. Everybody surrounding it, and then they get all those good cutters going. Excellent offense for a team that's this quick.
Moss setting a screen for Grayer. Grant is on Tompkins. Grayer Watch out from behind with Grant and a foul call. Grant very nearly got a piece of that from behind on Grayer. And they're going to call Henderson with the personal foul for Michigan. That's his second. Coming back in the game is Richard Relford and Butch Wade, the starting forwards for Michigan. Tompkins goes out, and Hornacek is back for Iowa State.
Dick, what's so tough trying to guard Grayer is that he can step outside. He's got the perfect body that you have a hard time matching up with. 6'5", extremely strong, real quick, can put the ball on the floor, so it's a tough matchup.
I'm surprised at how well Virgil has done. You'd think he'd get lost 6'4" and slender like a reed in this crowd, but he's done pretty well at both ends.
Obviously a very good shooter, knows when to take the shot. Smart ball player.
So Grayer hits the free throws, and Iowa State has opened up a 4-point lead. That's the biggest margin they've had. Under 6 minutes to go in the first half, and the red and gold cheers are emanating from the Metrodome.
The people of the state of Iowa really support their teams, don't they?
Iowa was here earlier, loose ball, and this could be an easy basket for Virgil.
Michigan's got to think time out here. They've gotten away from their offense.
27-21. And Iowa State is on a 15-4 run after Michigan had the early lead. Relford needs help. Henderson swings it to guard Thompson.
You can see with Tarpley out of the ball game, this is not a very good offensive team that Michigan has on the floor. Gobert and Tarpley out of there.
Henderson on a good feed.
Oh, did he get a roll?
That was a good bounce pass by guard Thompson. Now, Grant may be as good an offensive weapon as they have out there now.
That's right. Henderson a pretty good scorer, but you know, if you're counting on him to be your main man, you're in trouble.
27-23. Iowa State leading. 4:40 remaining, as you see in the first half. Coming out of the pack, Elmer Robinson missing.
He's not shy.
Loose ball out of bounds. It's going to be Michigan. Oh, Iowa State ball. Iowa State will have it. Tarpley and Jobert will come back in the game for Michigan. Bill Frieder trying to figure out how to get the Wolverines back ahead.
Ankle not making any excuses for them because Auburn is a team of good athletes.
Not a deep team, St. John's. They've done it basically with 5 men.
That's right. You play 2 games a week, and it's not too bad. You get in this tournament, you got to go night in, night out. Makes it very difficult for a team that doesn't have depth. Good pass.
Inside, and it was Moss. David Moss with the basket. Tom Schaefer, a 6'7" junior from Chicago, is in the ball game, and both clubs going deep into their bench in the first half. 29-23, 6-point lead again for Iowa State. Tarpley says no to Grant, looking for the feed inside. Grant misses, and Schaefer gets the rebound.
Grant has had some of those games when he can't hit the jumper. Now you can tell Johnny Orr has scouted Michigan down to just a science. He's playing off of Grant. Double teaming on Tarpley whenever Grant has the ball inside, and there's no passing lane there.
You don't think this game means much to Johnny Orr, do you?
Well, he said the other day, it's just like another game, makes no difference who I play, but he is one of the all-time great competitors, whether it be on the court or otherwise. You know, this guy was all Big Ten football player as a freshman, and honorable mention all Big Ten as a basketball player as a freshman.
I didn't know that.
At the University of Illinois.
Until now.
Then he went into service.
Tom Schaefer hits the free throw, and back in the ball game is Glenn Rice for Michigan. There's Rice, the freshman from Flint, and Wade goes out of the game. Wade just picked up his second personal. And here is Schaefer, by the way, a transfer from Illinois, who scored 12 against Oklahoma last year. Misses the second free throw, and it's 30-23.
Talking to Schaefer before the game as he was in the layup, he said, the last time I saw you were the MVP of a CBS regular season game. That he was coming off the bench.
Michigan has scored only 2 field goals in the last 8.5 minutes. Iowa State's defense has been superlative. 3:45 remaining in the first half. And Jobert hits from the baseline. That's where they're most effective, it seems.
So Hornacek was trying to help out a little bit. Jobert got lost down on the baseline. He's hiding down there.
Iowa State by 5. Iowa State has outscored Michigan on the fast break 10-0, which is not really that surprising considering their quickness and style. And the foul is on Richard Relford, his first.
There's a reach-in foul on the man that's not going to shoot the ball from 30 feet. Just a wasted foul.
Iowa State out of Ames, Iowa. They went to the West Regional Final in 1944 and lost to Utah, Billy. You remember that game?
In Kansas City. I'm saving that story to the game that, or the night that we can really tell. That's about a half-hour story, Dick.
Well, we had a fill of 40 minutes the other night. That would have been a perfect time. Elmer Robinson hit the free throw, and Gary Tompkins coming back. And if you couldn't tell it in the 40 minutes, you'll never be able to tell it.
Chapter 1, it involves Arnie Ferrin. Right. One of the great stories that's ever going to come up, and we'll hold that.
So we're going to hold it.
I know you're
on the edge of my chair waiting for this. Actually, I've already heard the story. They ought to make it into a soap opera.
There's a tough thing to do. Robinson, knowing he's going out of the game, and just drills the foul shot. Johnny Orr appreciated. Grayer back in.
Grayer is back in. Iowa State leading 32-25. Their biggest lead of the game. 3:20 remaining in the first half, and they've taken the play away totally from Michigan, who've been befuddled right now.
Particularly when you take in consideration the way Michigan started this ball game, Dick. They looked like they were going to be awesome from the inside.
Tarpley, 9 early points, is fouled there by Moss of Iowa State. Tarpley will go to the line. Moss has done well coming off the bench, as has Elmer Robinson.
What Johnny Orr is doing too, and he's having an opportunity using Moss this early to save Hill. Now we see replay on the inside. You see Moss doesn't get over the top the way Hill was doing that to prevent Tarpley from getting that easy pass. But Johnny Orr will probably, as long as he's got this lead, rest Hill, keep him out of foul trouble, and save him for that second half.
Tarpley is in double figures with 10 points to lead Michigan. Virgil is the leading scorer for Iowa State with 8. And they have 8 men already who have scored for the Cyclones. Grayer, their leading scorer, has only 4. As you mentioned, Hill has had a big rest.
Rice, second effort Rice off the rim.
And the rebound taken down by Schaefer. He's a bull. He belongs inside against Michigan. Good. Is Hornacek feeding Grayer with the basket for Iowa State.
Boy, that was a smart play.
Good passer and a good shooter. Jobert spinning his way in against Hornacek, comes back and the pace quickens.
I'm sure Johnny Orr doesn't want it to get quite this quick.
Inside Grayer. Slowing it up now with 2:40, and you're absolutely right. Grayer knows how his coach feels, and they know he has a 6-point lead. Why rush things and see it dissipate in a hurry?
Grayer doesn't force anything for a big score.
Tompkins with a screen from Moss. It was David Moss setting the pick outside.
See, when you don't play with a post man, that's going to be a charge coming up. Oh, they call the block on Moss.
Foul is on Moss.
Richie Relford looking like a tight end going into the pack. You have to bring Hill back into the ball game.
Sam Hill coming back in with 2 fouls, and Moss goes out. He's played very well. You know, it's funny, when Michigan has had some of the strong teams in the 60s with Cassie Russell and Bill Bunton and Oliver Darden, they were also built the same way this Michigan team is.
I would agree. The club that they took to the finals was probably, that was under the Johnny Orr team at that time, was probably a team a little bit lean and mean. The club that he took in '76 to Bobby Knight's. Indiana really had a little bit more powerful club. It was Bill Hubbard. A lot of quickness, Green in the backcourt. Kind of like this Iowa State makeup. Johnny Orr likes athletes with quickness.
And he likes exciting basketball. The attendance figures have gone up too in Ames, Iowa.
6,000 up to about 14,000. Hope he's getting a bonus on his contract.
2:10 to go. Tompkins working. 36-29, Iowa State. They have led most of the way after Michigan came out flying.
And see this offense neutralize the side.
There's that great in, and the man you got to credit is Sam Hill for setting the screen as he took Grant out of the play.
Great screen.
Biggest lead now.
That open offense really neutralizes Michigan's power inside.
1:43 to go in the first half, and 9-point lead. Tarpley had a double pump, but he scored anyway. 12 for Tarpley. He's averaging 15.5 on the year.
That was a great shot, Dick, because Hill played good defense, had his hand up. Tarpley just double pumped. You don't see many centers that can pull that off.
Tarpley with 12. Henderson comes into the ball game. And going out is Richard Relford. 7-point lead. Relford has scored 1 point, averaging nearly 12 a game for Michigan. There's the time remaining in the first half. Iowa State by 7. Johnny Orr has used his bench brilliantly.
Shot.
Grayer banks it in over Rice. That was a bank shot.
I don't believe he tried to bank that one. He thought he was drawing the foul on the play.
It's interesting because Hill was right next to him setting a screen. He didn't go that way. 1 minute to go in the first half. 9-point lead, matching Iowa State's largest. Nearly lost it to Grant. Out of bounds, Iowa State. He did lose it.
Michigan starting to put their heads down, walking back down court. Grant not having a good game offensively.
Bill Frieder, the pupil, and the professor from Iowa State, Johnny Orr, trying to bring his team in with a lead at halftime. 9 points, trying to add to it right now.
Good backdoor cut, wasn't there.
Picked off. The pass was a little behind the cutter. Jobert controlling with 35 seconds, and they can play for the last shot. 9-point Iowa State lead.
They can play for it, but Michigan really needs to score badly here. A good job by Iowa State staying back in there, and they'll take their chances.
18 seconds and running. Jobert and Grant.
There's that step out again. It's really causing Michigan problems.
They're looking for Tarpley, and the ball stripped away by Tompkins with 8 seconds to go, and it's knocked away by Grant. Sam Hill to Goodyear. No basket. Follow basket. The foul by Rice before the play. And I got to credit Iowa State because they didn't rush. They knew they had 8 seconds to go, and they didn't throw up a bad shot.
Well, Tompkins did a great thing. When he made that interception, the clock was right up ahead of him. He looked at the clock, realized his time, and Dick, you're absolutely correct. He didn't make the foolish play. Same way with Hill. Look, he goes up for the jumper here. Has the presence to pass off to Grayer. Good job.
Rice, second
Oh, no,
foul.
wait a minute. It can't be a two-shot foul. He passed the ball.
Right, it has to be 1 and 1.
Exactly.
Because Hill was not shooting.
Exactly. I can't believe Bill Frieder's not up going crazy on that one. No, it cannot be. It can't be a two-shot foul. He passed the ball. Cannot be.
Well, you're the only one, I think,
Well,
that
the
realizes
referees are
that.
talking about it. I think they realize they made a little bit of a mistake there.
Too late now.
Well, Bill Frieder not doing anything about it.
Too late now. He already took 1 shot. Can't say you're going to shoot again for 1 and 1, right? He's going to
Never
get
too late to come up off your knees and go crazy.
Didn't matter. They missed them both. 40 to 31. 1 second ago. Grant shot, no good. And that is the end of the first half with the score. Iowa State in a surprise. 40. Michigan 31. Johnny Orr is ahead of this one. And CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship. On the rim in the early days.
Tough to shoot without a net on the rim. You can always tell that neighborhoods that want their kids to have a good opportunity to learn to play, they keep the nets up there.
Hornacek inbounds for Iowa State. Second half underway and a 40 to 31 lead. Iowa State with their biggest lead right now, 9 points. Michigan led by 6 early in the game. Iowa State came back strong. Hornacek, very smart player. Grayer, I haven't seen anything but smart players out there for the Cyclones.
Very patient. Everybody cuts, everybody moves without the ball. Nobody's taking bad shots.
Grayer, Virgil, Hill, Tompkins, and Hornacek, Billy.
The worst thing you can do in basketball is take a bad shot. Your percentage goes way down. Your teammates don't know when to rebound, and there he is again, 5 for 5.
Ron Virgil, 6'4" senior from Chicago, and 42 to 31. Big lead now, 11, largest for Iowa State.
They're trying to post Virgil up inside.
And looking in, Hartley with 12, the leading scorer. They've done a good job defending against him, and so is David Moss coming off the bench. Relford out to Jobert.
Ooh, good screen by Tarpley. Very Virgil.
Tarpley and Hill is out to meet him in the man-to-man defense for the Cyclones. 11 on the shot clock. Hornacek is trying to front Grant inside. Check that. Relford and traveling Colt. Hornacek made that play inside, I think.
Steps on Grant. Grant having a tough day mentally.
He wanted to get it inside to Relford, and Hornacek quickly moved in front of him.
Well, they jump out on that trap, does Iowa State. They do it very effectively.
Virgil looking inside. Instead goes around to Hornacek. Pick and roll. Nothing doing with Hill. Steal. Jobert. Iowa State gets back. Jobert with a fake goes up, and it hit out. Relford, and they're going to call a held ball, and it's going to be Michigan's possession.
Oh, the Grayer looks like he's hurt. See, a tough blow for Iowa State. He doesn't want to put pressure on that foot.
Jeff Grayer, and it looks like he's adjusting his shoe right now. He was,
I don't think
his foot around.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to. He just doesn't want to move on that foot. Surprised the position hadn't come out. We'll see the play coming up. Tarpley on the tip, just does miss it. Relford goes up, grabs a piece of it. At this point, you can see Grayer is all the way out of your picture.
And now Grayer has to be helped off.
Pain.
This is a big, tough blow for Iowa State.
All right, here comes Grayer down. Let's see if we can catch up what happened to him. He stepped on somebody's feet.
Maybe his own man, Virgil.
Yep.
Elmer Robinson, number 25, is coming for him. Robinson scored 3 points. All on free throws in the first half. 11-point lead for Iowa State.
See with Iowa State in that zone defense on the out of bounds, and they stay with it. 2-1-2 with Hill in the middle.
Interesting to see how they react without Grayer. Their leading scorer, Gobert, hits outside.
That's his spot. He loves to be down on the wing.
9-point lead. Final score out in Long Beach, Auburn, with Chuck Person beating St. John's 81-65, and the Big East is out of the picture in the national championship tournament.
Well, they put 3 in the finals last year, and there'll be nobody there this year. Nobody even in the regional. That's a surprise.
Pick and roll, Virgil to Sam Hill.
Nice play. Well, Hill hit that jumper at the top of the key at the beginning of the ball game. Now goes inside.
He's only a junior, and he owns Iowa State's career record in block shots, and he hasn't gotten a piece of one yet.
He's got 89 in his career, but his positioning is almost better than the guy that goes up and tries to swat things away.
7:18 remaining.
He and Tarpley fighting right now for position. Still trying to keep him out of the shooting range.
Gobert with a baseline shot. Relford gets a second chance and scores for Michigan.
Good block out on Relford. First time Iowa State got caught in that kind of a position.
Relford with 3 points. He's averaged nearly 12, and it's a 9-point game again. Iowa State in front.
Grayer's putting his sneaker back on over on the sidelines. We'll see if he'll be able to come in. They certainly need his scoring.
Hornacek looking for help. Grant is on him. Tremendous defensive player. Hornacek in trouble for the moment.
Good catch by Hill.
And Wade commits the foul, his third for Michigan.
Boy, that was a fine play by Hill. No place at all for Hornacek to go with the ball. He threw it to Hill, and Hill made the good catch in traffic. This could have been a turnover. Instead, it turns out to be a foul against Michigan. Fine play.
Tompkins will inbound. Hornacek had the presence of mind not to throw it away, and Hill got free enough in a crowd for the ball. They're going to call a block on Grant. That's a Hornacek and Grant. What a duel that is over there. A smart player, great defender.
Excellent duel. What I like about Hornacek, he's not trying to force the action, because Grant's the kind of guy that makes you try to play out of your rhythm.
Grayer back in the ball game. And Robinson will go out for Iowa State.
Grayer may have just stepped on a sneaker and twisted that ankle quickly. Looks all right now.
Michigan has 2 team fouls with 16:41 remaining in the second half. Iowa State 18-0 after they've led at halftime, leading here 44-35. A very smart team. The Cyclones have made very few mistakes today.
They certainly haven't made any mental mistakes. Occasionally you make one physically, but they really are well coached, well drilled.
Only 6 turnovers, and that's for a running team is phenomenal. Virgil in traffic. Hornacek, long range. He got it.
That's just like the jumper that he made to win the game the other night.
Hornacek. Balanced scoring for Iowa State. Virgil has 10, Grayer 8, Tompkins 8, Hill and Hornacek each with 6. A lot of people in the act for Iowa State so far.
He's got good range on that jump shot, and he can shoot it without having to dribble.
Nearly 4 minutes gone by in the second half. Again, an 11-point lead for Iowa State. Tarpley against Hill. Tarpley goes up and is fouled. And if it's on Hill, it'll be number 3 on Sam. It is 3 fouls on Hill, so now he's going to have to watch himself, and I wonder whether Orr may go to the bench.
Well, now you can look back at the first half when Johnny Orr was able to keep him on the bench. Now, Hill's getting a little bit aggressive on Tarpley that far from the basket, and that's what enabled Tarpley to get that drop dribble on him. Pumps him up, gets him inside, Hill gets him over the back. And if you're Michigan, you want to get the ball back inside to Tarpley again and try to get the 4th foul on Hill. Make Johnny Orr go to that bench again.
He's keeping Hill in the game with 3 and Tarpley on the line.
Great to have a big man that goes to the line a lot that's an 80% free throw shooter.
Leads in scoring, rebound, block shot, free throw percentage, 6'11". You'd have to rate him, of course, one of the top big men. Now, where would you rate him, actually, looking at the Bedfords and the Sound Leaders?
Well, I think Roy Tarpley's got to be the top. He's a senior, coming out, he's stronger. I think he's ready to go now.
There's a lead pass intercepted by Tarpley. Tompkins tried to get a diversion. Turnover, only the 7th for Iowa State.
Left hand.
Tarpley there, tipped up. The Anvil Forest, they used to call him when they had Bunton and Russell and Garden back in the 60s. And look that way inside there.
Uh-oh, Hill on his 4th.
With the elbow, and now Johnny Orr has to go to his bench if it is indeed on Hill, and it is. And they're going to bring in David Moss.
It's automatic. Moss already had his shirt off the minute that they signaled the 4, and there was Hill trying to fight for position. Here he is on Tarpley. Tarpley quite a bit stronger, and so Hill has to work so hard to get that spot.
So Sam Hill goes to the bench. He has scored 6 points. He has 4 personal fouls, and there's David Moss, a senior at 6'9" from Illinois, who has played well off the bench today.
Well, he has, particularly on the offensive end. Now, he doesn't position himself as well as does Hill, so I think Tarpley's going to get open. Here he is right away.
Tarpley over Moss, and there it is.
Yep.
Just as you said, Billy. Now it's a 7-point lead. Pressure full court. Michigan, and a turnover. Tarpley inside to Henderson, and it'll be a foul against Iowa State.
That's the first time Michigan's been able to throw the press back the other way, and they did a good job with it. Here's where Gary Grant's quickness is just amazing. Look at him cover the floor. He'll come back on the loose ball. Tarpley picks it up. And by filling that lane, as Gary Grant did, cut off the passing lane, that made it very difficult for Hornacek to find somebody to throw to.
Hornacek to miss the foul. 3 team fouls against Iowa State, 2 for Michigan. Loop it into Henderson. They trap. Jobert, good fake on Grayer. Fine play by Jobert. The fake on Grayer was the thing that made it happen.
Michigan on a roll right now. Johnny Orr's got to settle his ball club down.
Jobert with 11. Tarpley leads with 16. Pressure again. Moss trying to go to the cross, and it's nearly picked off by Tarpley, and here goes Virgil going in for the layup. You gamble, you miss, you get beat.
Yep, that was okay, though. That was a good move by Tarpley. You've got to make that move to pick that pass off. He missed it by a hair.
48-41, but at least you have the Cyclones thinking of that possibility.
That was a big basket for Iowa State.
14 and a half to go. A reaching in foul against Hornacek. Again,
Really
on him.
You have a problem when guards have to go down there with Jobert. He puts that butt on him, and it's hard to get around him.
14:33 remaining in the second half, and it's Iowa State 48, Michigan 41.
Move on down. We've got Big Ten with 2 of 6 left. Michigan and Michigan State at this point. ACC has 5 of 6 left. The Big Eight's got 2 of 5 left.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Kansas and, of course, Iowa State here.
Metro lost 2 of their 3. Big East, all 4 of theirs.
Grant controlling for Michigan.
Zone defense.
Guard Thompson, number 30, is coming to the ball game. 3 guards are in there for Michigan with Henderson and Tarpley. So Wade, Rutherford are out of there right now.
Boy, that was good defense that time.
All over Jobert, plenty of time. Grant, baseline shot. Tarpley is there, puts it on the floor and gets the basket. Roy Tarpley, 18 points.
Michigan really making a run. Every basket Iowa State gets is a real battle. Michigan getting some easy ones.
And Grayer counted a foul, a 3-on-1 break, and incredible quickness inside by Jeff Grayer, and that's one of the reasons why he's been underrated generally around the country.
This fella, 25.6 rebounds against Kansas. Good catch in traffic, concentrates right on up there, and Grayer just made a great defensive play before on Jobert, too.
Tarpley now with 3 fouls. Tarpley with 3.
Well, I think Tarpley with 3 is a lot better situation for Bill Frieder than Hill with 4 over there for Johnny Orr.
Grayer makes the 3-point play. Talked about his 25 against Kansas. Had 19 in the win over Miami of Ohio and pulled down 11 rebounds.
Tarpley has fouled out of 4 games so far this year. But the way he plays defense, he ought to be able to protect himself the rest of the way.
8-point lead for Iowa State. You're going to bring in Glenn Rice momentarily and give Tarpley a breather. Guard Thompson harassed by Virgil in the kick ball. Here comes Glenn Rice, the freshman from Flint.
Very good score. That's an outstanding game coming off the bench.
Tarpley will stay in there. Guard Thompson goes out, so now Michigan will have a taller team in there with Henderson, Tarpley, and Rice.
Well, that shows you the value of having a Jobert that can shift up into that forward spot when needed.
Tarpley inside, fouled by Moss. Good. He got the ball in a great position. Not much you can do there when you get it down that low.
Tarpley's really quick coming up off the floor. You know, this Michigan team only the 9th time in Big Ten history, and we were talking about going back to the beginning of time, it seems like it's such a great tradition that they have. Only the 9th team in history to win back-to-back titles in basketball. You think of all the great dynasty-type clubs they've had. Indiana, Ohio State. Amazing.
Ohio State, you figure.
Well, back in the days of Lucas, Taylor had a great program. Had a great program in those days.
51-45. Fred Taylor's going into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Tarpley, 20 points and 9 rebounds, playing with 3 fouls. 6-point lead, and now Iowa State has to prove that they can withstand this rally by Michigan.
You know, Michigan really picking up their defensive intensity a lot now, too. But Iowa State kind of throws you off balance. So if you come out in the pressure, they just pull it out a little further, which works into their hands because they're so much quicker.
They've extended their defense here. Hornacek trapped with ball fake. Gobert nearly got a piece of that ball. Hornacek long range.
Boy, he's got some range in that jumper.
Tarpley. Grant is filling the lane. Jobert is going to take it all the way in, and he's called for the offensive foul. He had Grant wide open to the left.
He sure did. He could have made a much easier play by staying on the floor.
So Jobert now with 3. So Wade, Tarpley, and Jobert all with 3 fouls for Michigan. The one player with 4 in the game is on the bench, Sam Hill, Iowa State starting center.
When you think about basketball over the last 15 years or so, it's the big thing that's changed is that ability to draw charges defensively. So many players do now. You just can't drive down that lane and be out of control.
12:35 to go, 51-45, Iowa State. 7th seed against the 2nd seed.
Grayer trying to post up inside on Rice. They should know each other very well.
Tarpley, and a 5-second violation called. It'll be Michigan ball, and Tarpley did quite a job on young Virgil.
He spreads out. He's got so much quickness. He spreads out. No place to pass the ball.
I say young Virgil. They're both seniors.
Virgil, 6th man up until this year, coming off the bench.
He had 14 points against Miami of Ohio on 7 of 12 shooting, so he's played well in the tournament game.
He's still making that run.
6-point lead for Iowa State. Guard Thompson out of the pack. Grant controlling. Watched by Gary Thompson. Nearly 12 minutes to go. Tarpley, good pass back to Grant.
Grant can't hit the jumper.
Last touch by Michigan. One official looked at the other for assurance. And it's going to be Cyclones ball, and Elmer Robinson returns in. Grant is 0 for 6 for the field.
Dick, you know, on that last point you just made, it was a very good one. Tarpley threw the ball back out rapidly. Now, if you're going to hit the ball inside and you realize your defender is not playing you, he's just backing up to help out on Tarpley, you should take steps in so that when he throws the ball back out, you're shooting a 12-foot jump shot instead of a 15 or 16-foot shot. That's what Grant's not doing. He's standing still.
Moss loses the ball. It was a tough pass from him. Here's Michigan 3-on-1 going all the way in. Basket will. Oh,
Big play.
and a foul. Grant, who hits his first basket of the ball game, and couldn't come at a better time. Hornacek at the other end here.
Here you see Grant going down. Hornacek, if he's not planted, I don't know what he is. I thought it was a charge.
You know, sometimes guys get there in the last minute and act like they're planted, but I think he was there.
Interesting, I watched Johnny Orr. He never looked out on the court, and I was wondering, what is he staring at? And I turn around the back behind my head, and there's a big screen here in the dome. So he's actually watching the replay there. He's been very mild on that bench today.
Coaching on television?
Yeah, I mean, he was just sitting there relaxing. I was standing a little bit under the weather, so maybe he's not feeling too good.
51-48, and Michigan has come back to narrow Iowa State's lead to 3. 5 straight points by the Wolverines with 11:25 on the clock. Tompkins.
But Gary Grant knows how to get around screens.
Grayer in and out, and a foul against Michigan.
Every time somebody sets a solid screen on Gary Grant he has the ability to turn his body and just get right over the top of the screen. Grayer's going to have to come to get some big baskets now, Dick. You know, he's been kind of solid, although his stats are building up. He really now has to get the ball in his hands more if Iowa State's going to win this game.
Here's Jeff Grayer. This is the free throw. Foul was on Rice. Grayer, first first miss of the game. It's 5 for 6 now from the stripe.
It's only the second time in the history of Iowa State to have a team win back-to-back 20-game seasons. Amazing.
Johnny Orr, the man, in 6th year, took Michigan to the national championship tournament 4 times. Title game, losing to Indiana and Bobby Knight in 1976.
Until last year, that's the only time two teams in the same conference have made it to the final.
Grant misses outside. Guard Thompson looked like that he palmed the ball, but they
They could call it the other way.
looked like a palm, but they call Hornacek with a foul. Hornacek can't believe it, as Virgil will come back in the game.
See the play right here. Michigan with that power on the boards.
Oh, that's a palm. Right?
Well, you know what? I think the referee there had a better angle than we did, to be quite honest with you. And you can make good calls if you have the right angle.
Hornacek goes out with his 4th personal foul, so 2 key members of the Cyclones, Hill and Hornacek, on the bench with 4. Not a good sign for a team that's trying to hold off the Wolverines, leading by only 4 now.
And when you look up there at 10-minute mark at about 8, Johnny Orr's got to figure about getting them both back in there because the lead keeps whittling away. You've got to go with your primetime players.
You cannot wait till you fall behind to bring it back in.
Guard Thompson. Well, he's played some quality minutes for Michigan coming off that bench.
The foul story. Hill and Hornacek with 4, a whole bunch of people with 3, but that 3 doesn't look as imposing now with 10 minutes, nearly 11 remaining in this second half. Grayer, guarded by Rice. Tompkins.
There's Grayer posted inside. Great move.
Good move on Tarpley.
Great move.
Oh, and balance in the air. The only way he could have made that there.
He's a player. He was outstanding in a National Sports Festival this past summer. Larry Brown's team winning the gold medal there, and he was a member of it.
Henderson.
He's a scorer.
Robert Henderson. You know, we talked about Iowa State taking advantage of fast break points and turnovers. As far as second chance points, offensive rebounds, Michigan has outscored Iowa State 18-0.
I think you're going to see Grayer want that ball more and more. He's got Rice on him. Here he comes off that same cut again.
Robinson. Moss. Virgil with guard Thompson all over. Double team out to Robinson. The pace is slow. That's not to Iowa State's advantage. Tompkins on a high pass. That foul, right. With Jobert, it'll be 4 on him. Let's check and see who got the call, though.
Richie Ralford coming back into the ball game. Bill Frieder's bench mighty deep.
Jobert has his 4th personal foul. Iowa State lead cut to 2. By the flu, doesn't seem to have his zip as long as his players do. Iowa State led by 11, 46-35 with 16 minutes left, and now the lead has been cut to 2.
I had an opportunity in '76 to do both of those regular season games between Indiana and Michigan, and I remember during practice, Bobby Knight said, "Come over here, I want you to meet Johnny Orr, who I'd already met." And he said, "Now you're talking to the coaches, the 2 coaches that have the 2 best teams in the country." And of course, that proved to be right. They got to the final championship game.
54-52, Iowa State trying to maintain the lead. Robinson, don't forget, Hill and Hornacek with 4 fouls on the bench. Grayer has to be the key man now and pick up the load for Iowa State. Robinson up on top, big basket.
Robinson shows a lot of guts. In the first half, he came in and put up the shot.
Good skills, 13 points against Miami of Ohio in the first round victory, and it's a 4-point lead for Iowa State, not giving Michigan a chance to tie it up on the possession.
All Big 8 bench team. Showed why right there.
Iowa State tightened up that defense a couple of notches. Hartley quickly back to Jobert. Relford is open. They're going to let him get the ball. Hartley
Push underneath by Robinson.
That's exactly what it is. And Iowa State is in the bonus. Michigan has committed 16 fouls.
That's what you like about Hartley. He can step outside, he can put the ball on the floor, and then he can make the power moves inside.
And as we said many times, outstanding free throw shooter.
Top center in the league the past 2 years. Big Ten team this year. Sellers from Ohio State. Norman, who played outstanding basketball for Illinois. Steve Alford and Skiles, that's a pretty good backcourt. And then Tarpley at the center spot. Gary Grant on the second team.
And there he is, back in the game, and Jobert goes out. He's been playing with 4 personal fouls and has scored 11 for Bill Frieder there.
Short. Oh, Garth Thompson, big play.
Thompson, heady player, goes up. No ball. They called on Moss. It wasn't called. And there is Tompkins going in, has his shot blocked by Tarpley, and they're going to call the foul against Iowa State.
Oh, you talk about 2 big turnaround baskets there.
Now, I don't know if it was goaltending or not.
We'll see.
Take a close look.
Garth Thompson on a big play. It's up, and it's coming down, baby. That's coming down. That's goaltending if there ever was one.
Way up there, and it started its descent. The foul is on Tompkins, his 4th personal foul. Make it his 3rd personal foul for Tompkins.
And that was not a makeup call going the other way either.
No, too quick for that to happen.
That's right.
Here is Relford on the line for Michigan. Relford has scored now 4 points in the game. He has been quiet. In fact, Relford and Wade really have been invisible. They have 8 points total, and they have averaged 17 points together this year.
Richie Relford goes to the foul line over 100 times a game, shooting over 80%. The kind of guy you want out there.
You know, Grant, who has averaged over 12, has only 4 points. Where's the scoring come from? Tarpley, 21. Jobert, 11. Henderson, 8. We talked about him before.
Interesting now that Michigan's gone to the press. It seems that they've played better. It's picked them up, got their feet moving a little bit defensively.
The lead is 1 for Iowa State, 56-55. They did have an 11-point margin. 8 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the second half. Johnny Orr has to figure when he's going to bring back Hill and Hornacek from the bench. Rayer hits the shot. That's the man who's got to keep him afloat until he brings the other 2 back.
He's looking for the shot. We're down now to the below the 8-minute mark.
Rayer has 16. He's hit his last 5 shots from the field. 7:45 on the clock. 3-point lead, Iowa State. And going up is Relford. Offensive foul against Richard Relford, the senior from Riviera Beach, Florida.
Boy, you have to have some guts to draw a charge on Relford. Moss getting up off the floor. You watch him step in here. How does he get hit?
Pat on the back from Johnny Orr for that.
You needed John Madden to describe that one, Dick.
Yeah, he would have said boom, bam, or something like that, right?
That was some contact, and no pads when you play here. No helmet, no face mask.
Tom Schaefer comes back in the game. He's been a banger, the transfer from Illinois. Junior from Chicago. And going out of the ball game is Elmer Robinson.
I thought Johnny Orr would come back with Hill at this time.
No,
Hornacek back in there, but Hill's still sitting on the bench.
Well, Moss makes the first free throw. He's going to go as long as he can without bringing Hill back. He's got a chance for a 3-point lead with 7:42 to go. And let's see whether Schaefer can hold the fort down for a while. Michigan led early. Biggest lead was 12-6. Iowa State took over the lead, led by 9 at the half, 11 in this 3rd period before Michigan came back to within 1, but they haven't been able to get the lead back.
There's Tarpley. He's got Moss inside, just scoring at will. I think it's time. I think it's time for Hill.
60-59. It's 1 point again. And now Johnny Orr is off of sitting down and up on the raised floor. And also getting up is Hill, I believe. Nope, it's Robinson again.
He's getting ready to talk to Hill. He's got to come back to Hill now.
All right, Hill has just gotten up. Nearly a steal by Grant Hornacek. Rayer, short. Rebound, Virgil. Going to bring it out, no hurry. The Reed, huh? Rayer, trap. They're going to watch the trap in the corner.
Good help by Henderson there. He realized he needed some help. Virgil, push off by Schaefer.
Schaefer knocked Henderson into the band.
No need for that. And now Johnny Orr is going to get Hill back into the ball game.
Coming back with 4 fouls. Hill has 6 points in the game. And this is going to be the critical time of the game.
Well, you can see Moss really not the position defensive player that Hill is, and Tarpley just getting it so easy on the inside. Good play by Tarpley.
The question is, how long can Hill go in and play that tough defense without fouling out with a lot of time remaining, 6:47, while Iowa State holds to that slim lead.
You know, another factor about the 45-second shot clock, when you're a team in foul trouble in the past, you had the lead, you could go into delay, let some time get off the clock. You know, now you can no longer do that. You've got to keep playing. And I think on a college level, I mentioned this the other day, Dick, they ought to put in the rule that you can't foul out of a ball game. You have the right to stay in there with an extra penalty shot if a coach wants to do that.
Henderson missed the front end of the 1-and-1.
Good screen by Hill. He just does it all right.
Grant and Hornacek, what a terrific subplot in this game. Matchup there. Virgil trapped with 2-3 people. Into Hill. Hill working against Copley. And the foul is against Grant of Michigan.
Will he pick your pocket?
You know, I was thinking Hill has to watch out against the possible charge with Tarpley inside, too.
Well, if he'll just keep setting screens, he doesn't have to worry about being aggressive offensively. Tarpley moving his feet good. And there was Grant, just took it right out of his hand.
Great fouls on Grant, and both teams are in the bonus, and Sam Hill on the line. He shot 57% from the field last year, only 44% this year. He dropped in that department.
Still giving him the good, solid performance defensively, off the boards and blocking shots.
Was it you who said who in Sam Hill is the center for Iowa State?
That was some of your nonsense this morning.
Relford comes back in for guard Thompson.
You know, every time that Bill Frieder makes this move, he changes the complexion of his offensive and defensive alignment completely, because Gobert then goes and swings back to the other position. Kind of like a boxer that can fight both right-handed and left-handed.
There it is, the three-point lead again, 62-59, 6:22 on the clock. Johnny Orr would dearly love to knock off the team he coached for 10 years, Michigan. Here's the zone.
See what he did? He went zone to try to protect Hill. And they're very aggressive in that zone.
Gobert's the best outside shooting possibility here.
Henderson, a pretty good shooter, and he won't mind taking a jump shot against his zone if Gobert can get it cross court.
Gobert gets it inside to Tarpley, who's fouled.
Oh, big call.
Foul on Tarpley, and that's number 4.
And Hill was the man that drew the charge.
That was one of those fouls like we saw yesterday with John Williams and William Bedford.
Well,
LSU and Memphis State.
I wouldn't agree in this respect, Dick. I thought that was obviously a foul on Williams, but there was a case where Hill held his ground. Tarpley went into him.
I mean, as far as the foul being critical going one way or another.
I know what you mean, Dick. I know what you mean.
Timeout, and Michigan trails, and Tarpley has 4. Hornacek inbounds for the Cyclones with under 6 minutes remaining and a 3-point lead for Iowa State. Winner will go on and play North Carolina State in Kansas City on Friday.
That man-to-man's pressed way on out there. Now, Hill, you can't afford to let him make a move. He's got his 4 fouls, but it might not be a bad idea if he can get it to make Tarpley have to do something with it.
16 on the shot clock. Gray are looking for some open spaces. Can't find it. Schaefer.
Hill had Tarpley in position.
Grayer hemmed in. Finds Hornacek with 6. He's quick pass to Virgil. What a pass by Hornacek. I thought Hornacek was going to shoot, and I think a lot of people did.
Oh, just a well-oiled machine out here. Just great play, good teamwork.
Virgil 7 of 8 from the field for his 14 points, and it's now a 5-point lead. 64-59 for Iowa State and under 5 minutes to go.
Hornacek, another one of those sons of a coach. That's a
They saved it. Gobert saved it well to Grant. Grant penetrating, throws the ball away.
Grant tried to make too big a play there, Dick. Pressure starting to mount. Everybody going towards the boards to rebound.
Hill playing with 4 fouls, but doing a good job with 4 fouls defensively against Tarpley. Iowa State with the ball now. Grayer, Hornacek, and Virgil look like they're on the beam again.
You know, Relford has done a fine job on Grayer, too, position defense. We're seeing some real good individual defensive efforts here.
5-point lead for Iowa State. Virgil out to Schaefer. 20 seconds on the clock.
They're running that offense. Everybody's screening off Hill.
Grayer. Not quite in balance. Tarpley the rebound.
I think Grayer always looks possibly to get fouled on that pump fake. That time nobody was close enough.
4:05 on the clock. Winding down to 4 minutes to go.
2-3 zones giving Michigan some problems.
Tarpley inside. Short. Loose ball. Tarpley again. Relford is inside. He'll score. second chance points right there for Michigan.
Just too much power in there with Relford, Henderson, and Tarpley.
3-point lead again, 64-61, 3:45 remaining in the game. At least the second half, we should say. We had double overtime in the opener. North Carolina State beat Arkansas Little Rock.
What's interesting, too, if you watch that ball game and you said, well, no matter who wins this, they're going to beat that team. And that's the problem about the NCAA tournament.
Never know.
You know, you watch somebody play, and then the next night they just play a different game.
Great bounce pass, Hornacek, but Schaefer couldn't convert. Inside
Henderson.
a block shot, and it's still going to be Iowa State ball, but Michigan's defense was superb inside.
Henderson, another one of those fellas that comes off the bench and gives the solid game.
Michigan will want a timeout. They're going to bring back Glenn Rice and guard Thompson. And 3 minutes and 19 seconds remain in the second half. Iowa State
Way up there at 74%. So
Grayer is only a 60%
that's
shooter.
right. So, you know, everything's going to be critical the rest of the way here. Free throws may again play an important part, just as they did in the NC State game and so many games that are played throughout the course of this tournament.
3 minutes, 12 seconds to go. Hornacek and Grant, they've been dueling all day. Robinson
will put the shot up. Almost walked.
3 minutes remaining in the second half, and a 3-point Iowa State lead. You were talking a moment ago how Michigan just can't get in there, and a foul away from the basket against Michigan.
That's Jobert. Now Jobert is out of the ball game. A cheap foul on his part. He just didn't beat his man to the spot.
You know, a moment ago he was looking for the foul himself.
Exactly. You know, he wasn't in the game mentally.
Jobert goes out having scored 11 points with 2:56 to go. They lose a spark plug and a pretty good outside shooter.
And they lose a guy that can create a shot when you get down the wire. He's done it many times throughout his career. Only 11 points today. Robinson on the line. We talked about free throw shooting, and here we go.
He was 3 for 4, but the ball comes right back down in his hands. It's knocked away by Rice. Michigan had a chance twice now to get it. Iowa State has it. New clock. 2:45 remaining.
Now you notice how Iowa State has moved their offense out,
And a foul call.
no, it should have just been out of bounds.
Out of bounds. See, it's hard to see up here because we're even with the court.
Well, in the first game, Dick, you like the fact that you're down here so you can see at shoe level and you can tell when somebody's walking. We can't have it both ways. But if anybody needs this angle to watch a basketball game, I'd like to know who it is.
2:35 remaining, and it's 64-61. Key turnover. Tarpley and Grant, in essence, a two-man game right now.
That's that 2-1-2 zone. See Hill trying to front Tarpley. He's got to be real careful. He doesn't lean on him too much.
Guard Thompson misses. Crash the boards. Tarpley's there. Big basket from Michigan. That's why Tarpley's so valuable. 25 points for Tarpley. And it's 64-63. Michigan has out-rebounded Iowa State 28-15 in this game. Virgil not afraid to put it up. Grant gets the rebound, and the Wolverines are looking for their first lead since the first half of this game. 1:56 remaining. Jobert has fouled out of the ball game for Michigan.
Guard Thompson isn't afraid to take the jumper. Rice will shoot the jumper.
Maybe you just get it inside, they'll play volleyball off the glass.
Right. Get it up inside, and Hill has to now not worry about that fifth foul. Not a lot of time left. Anytime he goes up on the boards, he's got to go for it.
Grant's going to shoot.
There it is again. Hill, good rebound.
They have good position on Tarpley.
He's got to go for it. He can't worry about fouling out.
1:20 on the clock. And Iowa State wants a timeout. So they come awfully close, and Johnny Orr's Iowa State Cyclones avoided a deficit right there, right here.
Here's the inside position. Hill's got it on Tarpley. Comes up strong with two hands, blocks him out. Good play. Playing good, solid defense, and they've been patient with the ball, but they've got to get a basket from somebody, and you have to figure Grayer is due to take a one-on-one move. They moved their offense out a lot higher, but Michigan has done a great job preventing them from getting an easy basket, rubbing off a Hill in the middle.
Hornacek will inbound, and ahead of the field is Robinson. What a play, discussed by Johnny Orr in the huddle. 66-63, and coming right back.
There's
Richard Relford. Here comes Robinson again, and a foul against Michigan. Big play on the out of bounds, and a big play underneath for Iowa State. Listen to him here.
just missed up an assignment. This came very close to being a 5-second call because nobody was breaking. Michigan was well covered, and boom, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Robinson breaks to the basket. Robinson goes to the line, 69% free throw shooter.
3 for 5 today.
Dick, I'll tell you something about this fella. I wouldn't want to be facing him in the last of the ninth if he is a pitcher. He's got ice in his, I mean, you know, you can just tell he's a competitor.
Freshman from LaGrange, Illinois.
George Steinbrenner better give him a bonus if he can throw strikes, because he's got the heart to play.
5-point lead with a minute to go. Minute away from a big upset here. Tarpley goes in. Reverse layup, but there's Wellford coming in with a basket on again the second chance point. Ahead of the field is Dreyer. Tarpley is back as well. Now they'll use the clock.
Good patience by Dreyer. He could have tried to make that play all the way. Realize the clock is the big opponent for Michigan right now.
68 to 65. Iowa State is leading with 37 seconds and a foul on Grant. And that's his 5th. He's out of the game. So the starting backcourt tandem, and a good one, of Grant and Jobert of Michigan have fouled out of this one. He shot 1 for 9, Billy.
Well, that was a big story in this ball game because Iowa State let him have the jump shot, and he just couldn't bury it. That made it tougher on Tarpley.
You know, people said this is going to be a wide-open NCAA tournament this year, but I think it's more wide open than a lot of people figured, with the likes of Navy and Cleveland State moving along, and some of those Southeast Conference teams like LSU and Auburn, don't you think?
I would agree. How often does the son of a coach not make the big free throw, huh?
Hornacek.
His dad coaches at the same school to produce Isaiah Thomas. Not a bad guy in NCAA history. Oh, he comes up
1 out of 2. That was the first time Hornacek had been at the line today. 33 seconds remain. Loose ball for the steal. Gets it to Hornacek and a foul before.
Michigan in serious trouble now.
27 seconds to go, and Iowa State can smell it.
Tarpley might have fouled out on that play, Dick. That is the end of Tarpley, so Michigan loses both ways there.
3 starters have fouled out. Tarpley, Jobert, and Grant. And Roy Tarpley fouls out, having scored 25 points and picked off 14 rebounds. And it looks awfully good from the kids from Iowa State of the Big 8, who was seeded 7th coming into this Midwest region.
I'm going back to that phone call from the athletic director to Johnny Orr, and he said, I think I'll take the job. Could you imagine that? What a set of circumstances.
Sam Hill is on the line, and of course Johnny Orr left Michigan. You know, there you don't have the spotlight to yourself because of King football, Bo Schembechler, great school that Michigan has been athletically, and maybe Johnny Orr kind of felt he wasn't respected as much as he should have been. He is at Iowa State, that's for sure.
He's banging that table over there now. He was talking all through that.
He wants this game. 27 seconds to go, and Hill can give Iowa State a 6-point lead. He does it. It's still 70 to 65, but time against Michigan right here. Oh, another turnover. Hornacek will try to save it. Wade has it to guard Thompson. And going in is Relford, and Iowa State was quick not to foul as Michigan calls its last timeout.
11 seconds to go.
11 seconds, a 3-point lead, and Michigan is out of timeout.
Man, you better not come on too strong if you want to take me out tonight.
There's the 1-and-1 foul coming over the top. Wade coming over the top now. Johnny Orr wanting a 2-shot foul, but Wade was going to try to chop that ball away.
4 fouls on Wade. 3 Michigan starters. Roy Tarpley, who fouled out with 25. Antoine Jobert and Gary Grant, the starting guards, have all fouled out. And the man who survived with 4 fouls for a long time, Sam Hill, is still in the game and on the line.
You know why he survived? First of all, he has good technique defensively, and second, his coach was very smart the way he handled him in the first half and didn't use him when he didn't need him.
Johnny Orr's got to be proud of the way he coached Iowa State today.
I thought he did a great job in regard to game preparation, his style of play. His team is really well drilled, and his substitution pattern was excellent.
Michigan has no more timeouts, and so they can just let the clock run down. Iowa State with 10 seconds to go. It looks good for the Cyclones.
This game is over.
72-67. And another upset here. Gar Thompson misses. They're going to avoid the foul at any cost. Rice gets the basket. 1 second, it's over. And Johnny Orr of Iowa State has beaten Michigan. And how sweet it is. The final score, Iowa State 72 and Michigan 69.